Welcome back. Today, as we said, was the inaugural session of the 2016 Parliament. We have seen also the election of the Parliament Speaker and the two deputies to shed more light on the inaugural session and the challenges and the expectations from the Parliament. We are very much delighted to have our dear guest in the studio, Dr. Sara Kira. She is a political analyst and a researcher. Hello, Dr. Sara, and thank you for being our guest for today. Dr. Sara, how do you see the procedural session today for the 2016 Parliament? And do you believe that it was up to the expectations? Because we have been without a parliament for a long time, since 2012, and we are having too many hopes and expectations from the coming parliament. So how do you see the procedural session today?
Well, it's too early to judge on how things will go on, but the session today was very disciplined, very national. The members are from all the sectors of the society. They are very integrated, all of them. The session showed really with the members, all sectors of Egyptians. It showed Egypt over there. But it's too early to judge how things will go, or how would be the how would be everything and the topics they
to
would
what
choose.
extent the first session of the Parliament is having such an impact on the public, because I believe that many people were eager to see the new figures of the Parliament and are eager to see, although as we said, it's a procedural session, but still people want to know the people, the figures who are representing them in the Parliament. So to what extent this session is important for the public?
It was a very good remark made by one of the members, that she asked the president of the session today to introduce or to have the members running for the candidates running for the presidency of the Parliament, or the Speaker of the Parliament, to introduce themselves, because they might be known in their areas, but they are not known for the rest of them. But I see it positively. This is new blood, new faces, so we'll be able to judge from scratch.
Since you have been talking about the new faces and fresh blood, I've been happy to see in today's session many young faces, many young females, many young members of Parliament. So do you believe that this new blood could lead us to watch in the coming sessions more active session, more demands, more active Parliament, or how do you see that?
Well, again, it's too early to judge, but the young people, we are all very proud of the young people there, and 56% of the Parliament are independent members, which most of them are young people. And yes, there will be a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of new ideas and fresh blood, as you said, and hopefully they will gain the experience needed as well.
Dr. Sara, we have to talk here about the women's representation in Parliament. For the first time, we are seeing a large number of female members of Parliament, although, of course, we are seeking for more. But the President appointed 28 members of Parliament, 14 of them were females, and many of them were young female as well. So how do you see the participation of females in the Parliament today? And what are you expecting from these females to do in order to show a real image, a real representation for all the Egyptian women in the Parliament?
Well, the thing is that it's very promising to see young people and females pouring into the political practice, gaining the experience needed, and while practicing politics as well, and holding this kind of responsibility. Regarding the females, well, they are expected to participate in all of the projects of laws expected and all of the topics that will be tackled and so on. But they are also expected to, if this proves, it proves one thing, it proves that the public's political awareness is being high, and they differentiate between no men and women. That gender equality is being poured into the society because they are, at the end of the day, the masses who chose women to represent them. So this change of the mindset of Egyptians is very promising and very important. Second thing, they are required to participate in everything, as we said, but we are expecting them to focus on women's issue that we have been suffering of in the past years, like violence
what
against...
exactly? Because many issues related to women has to be tackled urgently in the new parliament.
Violence against women, cutting of the rights in any way possible, education. Well, we have taken a great shot in education of women in rural areas especially, but we still, they have more of social responsibility. The parliament in general would have the challenge of bridging the gap between the civil society and the government. And there are a lot of organizations, the civil society, that care about women issues. So hopefully they would be poured more into practice, and more rights would be given to women, but on the ground, on reality ground.
Hopefully. Are you satisfied of the representation of women in the parliament? Because as we have been talking, that there is a huge difference between the representation of women in the 2012 parliament, which was about 13 women, and now 2016 with 89 women.
89 women,
How do you see this change?
89 women in 2016 in comparison to 13 women in 2012. Of course, that's a huge change, and not a change in the mindset. In this idea, it's not a change in the mindset of the masses or of the people of Egypt. It's a change. It's a true image of what the public or of what really the Egyptian people think, because they do trust women. They are the mothers and sisters and wives, and and half of the society, or even more. The thing is that in 2012, Egypt was rated the lowest country of women's participation in the parliament. So if we see this change now, it's a huge jump between 2012 to 2016. So the change was needed.
Indeed. Now we'll go towards this report. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that Egypt is eager to widen its parliamentary activities in the coming period to play a more active role in both the Arab Parliament and the Inter-Parliamentary Union. The details in the following report by Shireen Adel.
Fattah al-Sisi stressed the importance of boosting cooperation between Egyptian and Kuwaiti parliaments in the coming period. President Sisi made the statement during a meeting with Speaker of the Kuwaiti Parliament Marzouk Al-Ghanim last week. The president said that Egypt is eager to widen its parliamentary activities in the coming period to play a more active role in both the Arab Parliament and the Inter-Parliamentary Union. He also praised Kuwait's stances in supporting Egypt in the past period. Sisi lauded the role played by Kuwaiti Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah to maintain Arab unity. He also urged confronting terrorism and forming a joint Arab force to maintain security and stability of the Arab countries, calling for settling regional disputes as soon as possible. The Kuwaiti Parliament Speaker Marzouk Al-Ghanim conveyed greetings of Kuwaiti leaders to President Al-Sisi and congratulated him on the finalization of Egypt's roadmap after the new parliament had been formed. Meanwhile, EU Ambassador to Egypt James Moran said numerous European Parliament missions will visit Egypt more often in the upcoming period. Moran said that many European parliamentarians want to understand what happened in Egypt during the past years, that many parliamentary missions want to visit the country to strengthen relations between both sides.
Welcome back, our viewers. From your point of view, Dr. Sarah, what are the aspirations, what are the expectations of the Egyptian people from the new parliament?
We have seen that the Egyptians are eager for democracy and eager for change, and they have taken all the steps required to reach that challenge, or to reach that challenge of change and democratic transition. So we cannot ask the people to do more. Their aspirations should be answered, and their prayers during the last 4 years. There has to be a mechanism of laws that would touch and impact the Egyptian civilians' daily life. The thing is that if we tackle everything that we have seen, that the social unrest comes because people are not hopeful enough or lost hope. So the social unrest, everything started with a social unrest because people didn't have any hope. The mainstream now is to build that hope back and to work on the leisure of people, to make their life easier, of the simplest things ever, like the traffic laws, the healthcare sector, the cultural. I need to go to the cinema with my family and see something that represents me.
Which is not the case. We have to say here, unfortunately, that many movies and many drama were not up to the expectations, or were not up to the standard anymore. So how can we regulate that in order to do that without any interference in the freedom of speech or the freedom of thoughts, but with a kind of increase in the level of education, culture, and to lower the level of vulgarity, and which has entered many homes, unfortunately.
Exactly. This is why there has to be a trend, a social trend, that and the new members of parliament have to answer that. They have to check the society and see what they are asking for, what they are eager to see, what is their taste, and start working on that, and not let producers or private sectors in culture or in the cinemas to impose their own thoughts on us just for making more money.
Indeed.
So to pay more attention to the social development of Egyptians.
Yes. So that would bring me, Dr. Sarah, to talk about major challenges or major duties for the upcoming or for the new parliament, which is the health and the education. And we start here with education and culture, since we are talking about the drama and the movies and the society. So in order to have a proper society, social understanding and social development, we have to have the minimum requirement of good level of education, proper education, and proper culture. How can we reach that, and how the new parliament could work on that?
Proper education, as we have seen yesterday, President El-Sisi called for a committee for developing the school curriculums, and we're grateful and thankful for that, especially that he required that it has to be as fast as possible. This is on the educational level. The people have to reject this kind of how do you call it? This kind of production, cinema production or TV production that doesn't present us or doesn't cope with our traditions or our trend of thoughts. This is first. Second, culturally speaking, there has to be more of a monitoring role, both from the government and the new members of parliament, because we are putting so much hope on them. Indeed. And so much responsibility. They have to monitor, and they have to start checking and do their homework right, and do the research right, and start checking the intellectual properties laws that have been that a lot of other countries are working.
So we are here talking about the intellectual property rights. Do you believe that these laws has to change or witness some adjustment?
We have to apply them first. Yes. We have problem.
But since we are talking about how to apply the laws, how the parliament could work on that?
Mechanisms. We have to put new, and they are new blood, as we said, So everything has to be new. They have to search and look for work as a team and to really serve the people and stop going after political gains and coalitions, and all of that will bring them nowhere. And will bring Egypt nowhere, because now people have the power in their hands and they know that they can change the member of parliament as well as change the government through the members of parliament. So if they are really looking for any political future, they have to start giving their ears and eyes to the people and pay more attention to the power they have in their hands. So that's basically it.
To what extent the fact that today we have a new parliament that could strengthen the stance of Egypt internationally, since it's our third step in our roadmap. So to what extent this parliament is giving Egypt an international credibility worldwide after the January 25th revolution and the 30th of June revolution?
This parliament has, well, we all know that the authority of the parliament is huge, but it has more responsibilities than authorities. And one of the responsibilities is that they have to know that the world is watching. The world is watching us. We have completed the roadmap. It gives us, of course, credibility as well as respect. And they have to be up to the standard of this respect internationally and up to the standard to the credibility of Egypt and its parliament. So they have to face the public of Egypt, the people, and they have to face the world. They have to know that Egypt is the most important Arab country and the gate of Africa. So the parliament has legislative function as well as monitoring. One of the legislations, one of the duties they have is to agree or not agree on international agreements. So if we want more investment and more trade agreements, they have to be up to the international level and do their homework well and see if these agreements would reflect positively on the people, would reflect positively on the nation, a nation of 90 millions. They are responsible for a nation of 90 millions and responsible for the credibility and respect of a state of 7,000 years. That's what all we ask for now, that they have to be up to the standards of Egypt's image internationally.
Yes. To what extent today Parliament and the fact that Egypt is now having a parliament, it has concluded the 3 steps of the roadmap, is giving credibility to Egypt on the economic front as well, and that could lead to more credibility on the investment level as well. So how do you see that equation?
The investment level has 2 pillars. One is the security, and the second is the
political stability.